This is CTV News with Nafisa Kareem.
They can do local newspapers, they can do other websites, or word of mouth.
A short-term solution to short-term housing during the FIFA World Cup? Or does the idea fall flat without provincial buy-in?
We've gone years without being acknowledged within our own territory, so this is a huge stepping stone.
Friendship agreement, how a new partnership between the Victoria International Airport and Indigenous nations is aiding in reconciliation. Plus, Adam meets a Cowichan Lake dog whose unique face is earning him millions of fans around the world. Later on the Sawatsky sign-off. Good evening. Thank you for joining us. An island community's plan to help house FIFA World Cup fans spilling over from Vancouver and Seattle has hit a snag. View Royal said it would pause its short-term rental bylaw during the tournament, but big players like Airbnb say that doesn't mean they'll be taking on new local listings. CTV's Brendan Strain explains.
When soccer fans converge on Vancouver for the FIFA World Cup this summer, one island municipality says it needs to be ready for extra visitors.
And there's going to be a shortage of places for people to stay.
In order to help with that issue, View Royal Council has voted to enact a non-enforcement period of its short-term rental bylaw ban for the months of June and July.
The Supreme Court of British Columbia has already determined that municipalities can do that on any bylaw. They can have a period of non-enforcement as long as it's not indefinite and it's in good faith.
Here's the snag. View Royal never contacted the province about the idea, and to actually cash in on the non-enforcement period and get your listing on big websites like Airbnb and VRBO, you need a provincial registration number. The province says to get one of those, you need to meet all their requirements, leaving those in View Royal to find their own way to advertise a new temporary FIFA listing.
They can do local newspapers, they can do other websites, or word of mouth.
Vancouver pitched a similar idea after a report was released saying that roughly 15,000 fans won't have a place to stay during the games. Ultimately, that idea was shot down.
The rental market right now is completely different. You know, what we have seen in British Columbia is actually the highest vacancy rate we've seen in almost 30 years.
The province enacted its Short-Term Rental Act during a housing crisis that saw record low vacancies. Rentals.ca said it did work to bring more units of housing to the market, but now supply has surpassed demand.
You know, necessarily not allowing short-term rentals, while it could be have some short-term benefits, it's not really a solution to what the problem we saw. We're starting to get that solution now with these multi-decade high of completions coming to the market.
A trial period, basically.
View Royal Councillor Don Brown says council will review the non-enforcement of its bylaw following the 2-month period this summer to see if it's something that the town may want to adopt over the long term.
If there's heat or pushback, it's going to be the municipalities getting it from the provincial government. And like I say, we haven't got it yet.
As for the Provincial Short-Term Rental Accommodation Act, that's unlikely to go away anytime soon. Brendan Strain, CTV News, View Royal.
The city of Langford has given the green light to 2 high-rise towers, which would add over 300 housing units to the community. The plans are for 2 towers, one 12 stories, the other 22, with commercial space and a parkade. The development will span 8 lots between the 2600 block of Pete and Sunderland Roads near Veterans Memorial Parkway. The city says the plans fall in line with their goal of a high-quality city building.
Additional green space that we've asked for, enhanced trees and other amenity space. We've really tried to create what we hope is livable homes that, yes, it is dense, but it's really important that we create these spaces that are more affordable and also really attractive to people. They want to live there, and Langford's growing, so how do we balance all that? I think this is trying to achieve that balance.
The project has a maintenance and security plan, which the city asked for. That means the owner of the properties will maintain them to prevent deterioration, dumping, vandalism, and squatting in the area. And the city of Langford is launching a community safety survey. It wants to know how safe you feel in parks, neighborhoods, and public spaces during the day and night. The information will be collected by phone through Ecos Research Associates, who will call residents. The feedback will then be used alongside statistics collected by West Shore RCMP as part of the city's 2026 budget process. The survey will run until the end of the month, and each completed survey will result in a $5 donation to the Goldstream Food Bank. A Nanaimo business owner says he wants something done about the revolving doors at our courts. The call comes after a man suffering from mental health and addiction issues was arrested for breaking into his boat and doing thousands of dollars in damage. CTV's Andy Garland has more.
Surveillance video shows an unwanted house guest aboard a tugboat in Nanaimo's Inner Harbor.
He'd been in there for almost 30 hours, living and cooking, eating, drinking.
And allegedly openly urinating and using drugs.
You can hear him going through fits of rage, and other times he's talking to another person that doesn't exist.
RCMP's emergency response team were called in Sunday to remove a man who refused to leave. Marvell Alvin Fontaine was arrested and charged with break and enter and 2 counts of mischief.
I came to learn about later, down below, all the cupboards and drawers are ripped apart, doorways are kicked in.
Andrew Reynolds, whose company Island Diesel owns the tugboat, says after Fontaine's arrest, he thought he didn't have to worry about the intruder anymore. That wasn't the case.
It was absolutely startling to look up at the boardwalk, and he's standing there staring me down within not even hours of being through his court hearing.
RCMP confirmed officers rearrested Fontaine for breaching the conditions of his release.
It might have worked to release people at the earliest opportunity under the least restrictive conditions when we weren't in a mental health crisis.
MP for Nanaimo Ladysmith, Tamara Cronus, says the unfortunate thing is things won't get any better until there is change to bail and sentencing laws, which our Conservative government continues to push for.
Until we do that, we're going to do interview after interview, and we're going to find situation like this after situation like this.
Is he out? Very well could be. I don't have a clue.
The BC Prosecution Service tells CTV News it made an application to revoke Fontaine's bail. However, he was released by the courts again with some changes to the terms of his release. Andy Garland, CTV News, Nanaimo.
Several First Nations on southern Vancouver Island are becoming partners and friends with the Victoria Airport Authority. YYJ operates on the nation's traditional territory, and now the communities will have a say in airport operations. As CTV's Anna McMillan shows us, the new partnership goes deeper than that and serves as an example of reconciliation in action.
For centuries, the Sayot, Sartlip, Saycum, and Pockwitchin First Nations have walked together as Wasanich peoples. Now, there's a new partner by their sides, the Victoria Airport Authority.
We've gone years without being acknowledged within our own territory, so this is a huge stepping stone.
Today on the Saanich Peninsula, that stepping stone is being formalized with several signatures. The 4 nations are signing a 15-year friendship agreement with YYJ.
The agreement defines a way of governance to allow the nations to participate in decision-making and future changes to the airport, including employment opportunities and business opportunities.
The airport sits on the Wasanich people's traditional territory, land formerly owned by Transport Canada.
We're the true people of this land as the Saanich people, and and we take that seriously.
The new agreement also sets out intentions for revenue sharing, collaboration on environmental stewardship, and a scholarship fund for Wasanich members.
Reconciliation is the right thing to do. There is a long history in Canada that we are trying to move forward on, and this is what this agreement is.
The Airport Authority is also setting aside a parcel of land to build a cultural centre to welcome travellers.
Once you actually start seeing the cultural centre go up at the airport, you're going to have a welcoming, and you're going to know whose territory you're landing in when you come.
The partnership's been in the works since 2018 and was inspired by an agreement between the Musqueam Nation and the Vancouver Airport.
It's been on the hearts and minds of generations.
There's hope this will set a precedent.
With the other organizations and other businesses, corporations that are working in our homelands on to just extend an invite and let's start having conversations.
Conversations that could establish a future rooted in respect and friendship. Anna McMillan, CTV News, Sydney.
BC Transit is opening the door to community feedback on its service to and from the Victoria International Airport. Recently, BC Transit outlined an option for a direct route from downtown Victoria to the airport, but the company says it comes with some trade-offs. It would like your thoughts in an online survey, which is open now until February 15. It will also host several open houses this month, including February 11th from 1 to 4 p.m. at the Sydney Save-On Foods. A second open house will be held at the Uptown Walmart in Saanich on February 12th from 4 to 7 p.m. Still to come, a Conservative MP makes a solo trip to Washington.
I talked to him in about a year about those issues. I would like to use that relationship for the good of the country, but I also don't want to interfere in what the Prime Minister is doing.
More on what he wants to accomplish and what the Liberals have to say about the trip.
It was another warm one today, 12 degrees for a daytime high at the airport. It's currently 9 at the harbor. We'll see temperatures in the 12, 13 degree range for the next 2 or 3 days. The forecast is next.
CTV Weather brought to you by Expedia Cruises. Plan, book, and safeguard your journeys. Explore the possibilities at expediacruises.ca.
What makes West Shore Parks and Recreation a perfect place to play? It's our staff, working behind the scenes to keep the pool safe, kids engaged, and programs thriving. So apply today and join our team.
Well, Josh joins us now. I know it's not even meteorological spring yet, but it sure feels like it.
Yeah. Not quite double digits yesterday. We were just shy of hitting 10.0. Had we gotten there, this would be 3 straight days in double digits, and we would potentially run that 5 or 6 straight days in double digits. We're at 11 right now at the airport, as we pointed out. A little cooler, closer to the water, 9 degrees at the harbor. 14 in Nanaimo, 14 in Tofino. 12 degrees in Port Hardy, temperatures well above average. Right across the island, there's that warm southwesterly flow. It is going to drag some clouds across the island through the remainder of this evening. Maybe some showers mid-evening in the north, and then almost everybody sees skies clear out through the day tomorrow. So mainly sunny skies across most of the island, and we'll get some more sunshine, it looks like, for at least the first half of the day on Friday in Victoria. We'll start to see a little bit of rain, though, push into northern parts of the island in the morning and then again in the evening. And it's the evening that it really starts to get active and spreads into Saturday morning as well. So enjoy the sunshine tomorrow. You're back to some clouds for Friday, Saturday. A little windy as well on Friday. 13 degrees tomorrow would be 6 degrees above average. 14. That's almost 10 degrees above average for inland areas. Mainly sunny skies. That should say a 70% chance of evening rain, not a 7%. I would just leave that out if it was just 7. That's a 70. Good chance of rain on Saturday. That could actually be some heavier rain there on Saturday. Out on the west coast as well, some heavy rain through the first half of the day Saturday, maybe as much as 50 to 80 millimeters. Sunny tomorrow, though, high 14 degrees in the Tofino area. 11 degrees and mainly sunny in Comox tomorrow. Some rain rolling in Friday evening, and then sunny or windy and some morning showers on the way for Saturday. Looks like that should break out by Saturday midday. In Nanaimo, the rain will stick around a little bit longer on Saturday. And may see a little more rain, it looks like Sunday night into Monday as well. But dry for the next 2 days in the Nanaimo area. Sunshine at 14 degrees tomorrow. That's 7 degrees above average. In Victoria, a few clouds in the morning, sunshine in the afternoon. We'll get to a high of about 13. So pretty similar to what we had today. 12 or 13 for highs Friday, Saturday. Some clouds late in the day Friday. And then we get some rain on Saturday and maybe a few more pockets of rain on Sunday. If this does develop, this has the potential to maybe be 15 to 20 millimeters of rain. So we'll keep an eye on that as we head towards the weekend. CTV Weather is brought to you by Expedia Cruises for air, land, and sea vacations. So nice and dry and warm for the next couple of days, and then turning wetter for the weekend, Nafisa.
All right. Thank you, Josh. A day after former Prime Minister Stephen Harper called for the Liberals and Conservatives to come together to the benefit of Canada, current Prime Minister Mark Carney met today with Conservative leader Pierre Poilievre. It comes as a Conservative MP makes a solo trip to Washington. CTV's Mike LeCouture has more on the meetings in Ottawa and in D.C.
Good to see you. This is not hope. This is not hope over here. Well, look at this.
The Conservative leader with a dig at his Liberal colleagues ahead of a meeting with the Prime Minister.
We have been working to fast-track anything that we believe, however modest, might make life a little more affordable, a little safer, and our economy a little stronger. So it's he that is holding up the show.
According to readouts from both leaders' offices, Carney and Poilievre agreed they need to work quickly to pass policies that will make life more affordable for Canadians. The Conservative leader also offered his help in Canada-U.S. negotiations.
In fact, we need to work together.
Conservative MP Jamil Javani, meanwhile, is heading to Washington this week on a solo mission to improve trade relations between Canada and the U.S. He's a longtime friend of U.S. Vice President J.D. Vance.
I haven't talked to him in about a year about those issues. I would like to use that relationship for the good of the country, but I also don't want to interfere in what the Prime Minister's doing.
Javani was pushing for a meeting with the Prime Minister, but he did get one with the Minister in charge of Canada-U.S. trade.
Minister LeBlanc gave a briefing to Mr. Javani, who I don't believe is the trade critic for the opposition, certainly not the Minister of International Trade nor the Prime Minister.
But some members of Cabinet are casting doubt on whether Javani can or will help.
I really hope that he spoke about the closure of GM in his writing, because Ingersoll has been closed for now 4 months, and I haven't heard him once.
While a number of Conservative MPs are confident Javani can use his contacts to make a difference, Poilievre says he told his MP the most important thing is to fight for the jobs in his community. Mike Lecouteur, CTV News, Ottawa.
Canada has updated its travel advisory for Cuba, urging travelers to exercise a high degree of caution. This comes as the Caribbean country is facing worsening shortages of electricity, fuel, and basic necessities. To reduce pressure on the electrical network, Cuba is scheduling long daily power cuts, but Ottawa says nationwide outages can still occur unexpectedly and last hours. Canadians on the island should heed the advice, according to one tourism management professor.
Take an actual paper copy of your passport, because if you run out of power, your phone may not work to show the picture of it. Bring along any extra medication. Once again, with your travel insurance, make sure what the cancellation policies actually are.
The updated advisory also warns that fuel shortages have made traveling across the island extremely difficult, with public transportation frequently disrupted. Well, it may seem hard to believe, but today is the 20th birthday of Facebook. Mark Zuckerberg was a Harvard University sophomore when he introduced the social networking site to fellow students. What began as a campus-only website quickly expanded beyond colleges and then beyond expectations. 2 decades after its launch, the social media giant continues to show unprecedented staying power, but not without its critics. Facebook currently reaches more than 2 billion users every day. Well, coming up, Picasso pup. Adam finds out how a local dog who is being compared to an off-kilter painting is earning international attention. Next on the Sawatsky Sign-Off.
When you see it happen, send it to CTV News. Text 10400. From your screen to ours. Text 10400.
Finally, Adam meets a dog in Cowichan Lake who's earning millions of fans around the world on this encore Sawatsky Sign-Off.
Amanda Richter will always remember that day she noticed this face you can't forget.
He looks just like a Picasso painting. Everything's out of place. One eye's big, one's little. His nose is twisted.
She contacted the animal shelter that posted the picture right away, and after meeting Brody, fell in love even faster.
The cuteness and feeling sorry for him, it was just this massive amount of emotions.
Staff at the shelter told Amanda that the dog's deformity was caused by his mom, who bit him when he was 2 weeks old, leaving Brody's jaw partially shut and one eye blind.
But he has such a zest for life. He loves everyone and everything, and he's just happy-go-lucky all the time.
After adopting him, just hours after meeting him, other people who'd seen his picture asked the shelter for updates. So Amanda started posting pictures of Brody online.
Just him being a goofball, just being himself.
Just being Brody has inspired almost 2 million people to follow him on social media, countless others to create all sorts of art inspired by him, and at least one person to get a tattoo of the canine on their calf.
I couldn't believe that he was blowing up the way he was. He has a cult following almost. It's insane.
Even more unimaginable, Amber says, was being told about a similar-looking dog at a shelter in Texas, adopting the pup named Raven, and enlisting a team of volunteers to transport her to BC.
They're the best of friends now. They are just like yin and yang. They love each other so much. It's pretty cute.
Well, Brody and Raven have since been profiled in print around the world, from the UK's Sun to DC's Washington Post, plus an appearance in People magazine. Amanda says she's not sharing pictures of her pups to generate publicity. Her goal is to inspire empathy.
It's saved my faith in humanity, just knowing that people are kind, can look past differences, and love an animal who might not be perfect.
Adam Sawatsky, CTV News, Cowichan Lake.
The Sawatsky Sign-Off, brought to you by Coastal Community Credit Union. Bank happy at Coastal Community Credit Union.
Well, that is it for CTV News Vancouver Island. Thank you so much for joining us. Good night.